Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tutorials for Transport Tycoon. Today we are going to be doing the water route, treated water, as opposed to the normal water you would get from the dam. And this route is done in Liberty City. Now the difference between this route and the original concrete route, apart from the fact that it's in Liberty City, is that it gives you treated water straight away. You don't have to get water and then go and treat it down by the airport, you know, down here. I haven't got the trucking job yet, so it doesn't show. But you don't have to go down here. You have to go to Liberty City, and there's two reasons for that. One, because the route's in Liberty City, but also because you can only get the right kind of trucker from the Liberty City Job Centre. So, as you will probably be aware if you're watching a tutorial for this tutorial like this, because this will be for a bit more advanced people, like the other concrete routes. If to do concrete, you have to be a bit veteran of the game. So this is going to be for those people as well. So there is a job centre in Liberty City itself, and that is where you get the right kind of trucking from. So that's where we're going. Oh, who's that? Oh right, it's Army. Hello, Nitsami. So, we are going to go from here to the ferry point over there. So, I mean, as you guys probably know, I imagine anybody who's watching this now has probably watched something else before, I do not usually edit these so that people can get the full experience of what we're meant to do. And that will be true for the most part for obviously the entirety of the Liberty City route itself, but I am going to probably just cut out this driving segment, because I'm sure everybody knows how to drive on a road, and we're just going to that ferry marker, so we'll just pick up there once we're ready to move over to Liberty City and get started on the route itself. Okay, as you can see from that big purple sky beam, we are getting close. But obviously we can't just dive off the edge of the motorway here, as there's barriers everywhere. So we're going to take the rough and ready way down. I just very much hope this does not blow up my car in a single dodgy hit. Oh god. Ooh. We're good. Right. Let's head over to the docks. So there are a couple of things that will make life much easier on you, and probably without, this isn't quicker than doing it the original way. And one of those, the main one of those, is that it is highly beneficial to have this shipyard business and the storage that it comes with, because this self-storage is linked to the train self-storages. You know, if you don't know, there's a couple of train businesses. They cost 80 million each, as does this port, and they allow you to put things in the self-storage at any one of them and collect it from any other of those self-storages. It doesn't let you collect from anywhere, but it will let you collect from any of the other storages in this self-storage sort of connected network. So this is almost a must. I mean, clearly it's not a must. You can just transport it by truck afterwards if you want to. That's fine. But obviously if you want to save time and if you want it to be an efficient route, you need to have this, really. But we are now going to head over to the job centre. Now, these don't really work, as you can see. Markers do not really do anything. I mean, it seems as though some of the roads have been coded in for the GPS, but most of them haven't. So for this area, you pretty much just have to remember where you're going, learn the route, and let's just say I'm not... oh my god. Oh yeah, you'll notice quite a lot of stuff. If it's destructible originally, it's just you can just go through it. So most of the lampposts you can just drive straight through, things like that. So you don't have to worry too much. It's only solid walls and terrain that you need to be careful of. But we are going to go this way. And as I was saying, I'm not very good at directions. I never have been. I tend to get lost a lot. But, oh, it's not too hard to remember this one, because you just go across the big bridge and it's on the left. And obviously I will be showing where you need to go for the route, so hopefully other people shouldn't get lost like I did the first time. And also a couple of tips and tricks, because there are some nasty little bits of terrain that will catch your truck and cause mega damage if you're not careful. So here we are. We come across. Oh, ooh, there's... Oh, whoops, I think he's dead. Right. So, once we're at the job centre, we can select the correct type of trucker, which, as you'll see, come on. Jesus, controller, this game does not control amazing. There it is, Trucker Liberty City. This is a sub-job of trucker, but unlike if you've seen my military goods or petroleum tutorials, it's not like those. You can't go and get it from the trucking HQ down in Los Santos port. You have to come here. So, we're now a trucker of Liberty City, and we can go and get our truck. Now there is a garage right behind this. Hopefully it's big enough for us to spawn trailers. It looks like it should be. So let's get rid of the gauntlet and get out our truck. Now, you might have noticed as well, they've added a Kenworth, premium Kenworth, to the premium section of the vehicle shop, and it costs $200 million. Now, you may expect, for one, that spoiler needs to go. So let's just deal with that, because this is a truck, not a sports car. Now, you might expect for 200 million that this thing does 300 miles an hour, it's indestructible, and everybody bows and weeps at the sight of it. No, it doesn't do any of those. It's actually kind of trash. So if you haven't got it, and you're capable of paying 200 million for a truck, I would not recommend it, unless you just want to flex on other truckers, because it really isn't worth it. I don't know whether they're planning to make it worth it at some point, but right now it is kind of crap, so just don't bother. Right, now I know that the Kenworth, I imagine people are going to be saying, oh, but the Kenworth works with this trailer. I know it does. It's a habit. I just like doing it like that because it guarantees that it's going to attach properly. So, this route, you can see now we have the trucking symbols. This route requires 1, 2, 3, 4 stops for the route itself. And then once we've done that bit, to get the actual treated water is this stop here. Sorry, wrong island. It's that one. Liberty City, the fire department, is where you get the water from. But first we have to earn tokens that allow us to cash those tokens in to get the water. And we earn those tokens by doing this other route. So the first thing we're going to do is head to this auto yard to get auto parts. Now this truck does have a siren, which I admit can be useful sometimes, but the Coco Phantom has a siren and it doesn't cost almost $250 million, and also it doesn't actually have any working lights, so what's the point, really? And half the time vehicles don't get out of the way. Anything big like a cement mixer, tow trucks, those sorts of things, they just don't bother. They don't get out of the way, they can't be bothered. So you kind of just hit them anyway. And sometimes the AI will just decide that the best way to avoid you is to drive straight in your way. So it's really not, there's no point to it really. It does have a custom horn, sort of. I mean, it sounds very similar, but it is slightly custom. Right. Now if I take a wrong turn or two, obviously, oh, you're going to see it because I keep these unedited, and I apologise in advance. I really do not have a good memory of where to go for these sorts of things. Now we should be in the road to the right, but we'll go down this one. Ooh, that's a bit sketchy. Okay, so we are approaching the first location, which, as I said before, was the auto yard. Now once we get down here, God, this is slidey. we can get auto parts. Now as you can see, they weigh 100 each, but they've also added a handy ×3, which obviously if you're max strength you have 300 inventory. If you're premium you have even more, but for the purpose of this 300 is what you need. So we can start we can fill the entire truck with these, and you can either fill the truck completely and then trash the ones in your inventory, or what I find easier to do is just fill the truck with enough so that plus your inventory it becomes full. Because if you completely fill up the truck and have a full inventory, you won't be able to move things around, which obviously you need to do. So we're just going to keep going until we get to the point where we have a full truck, and I think that's as much as we need. Let's have a look. There we are, 9,300 plus the 300 in my inventory will fill the truck. So we're now done here. Now as I said before, you can drive through most things that would be destructible in GTA 3. So obviously a big wall there is not drive-throughable, but these little cars are. So we're just going to make most of that, go straight through those to turn around. And we now need to head to the next island, to this military facility. Now the quickest way to get there is to take this northern tunnel, and to do that we need to head left here, then right here, another right, and we go up and over the road below us down there, and we can now head down and into the tunnel. Now tip number 1, do not go on the right hand side of this tunnel. You'll see there's a dividing bit, ignore the graphic glitches, there's a dividing section here. Stay on the left, because that sign there, you'll see it disappears, you can't even see it now, but there it is. That sign is solid, and this truck is tall enough, or not this truck, but this trailer is tall enough to hit that, which as you can imagine does not end well. So do not hit it, stay on the left. So now, even though we're going over here, we need to take this turning because this loops round and up to where we want to go. So that's what we're going to do. Ooh, we clipped it a little bit there. Now also, you'll see other signs like that first one that I just explained about being solid. The rest aren't solid. I don't know if it's a glitch or just Colin's glitch being trolls, but that one is solid, the rest are not. So that's the only one you need to worry about. You can see we're seeing straight through the floor as well. I mean, this whole place is a bit of a buggy mess, but oh well. That's what you get for sticking GTA 3's map in GTA 5, I imagine. Oh, and the road's disappeared. So, here we are at the military place. And you can see now, we're processing the auto parts we just gathered into military goods. So, it's done the ones in our inventory, so we can put those away. Take the auto parts, and we can just start. If you press left arrow, as it says there, press left arrow to automatically repeat take after putting. That's a godsend of an ability that I didn't even know about until a couple of weeks ago. But we can now do that and just go through all of the goods, auto parts in our truck, turn them into military goods. Now, I mean, as you can see, I've got the Mark 13 trailer, I think this is. So it has quite a lot of space, so I can do this quite a bit. Obviously it takes a lot of time. There we are. Right, no more parts left. Perfect. We can now head to the next area, which is at the dam here. Now you'll see this is off the map, which makes it kind of horrible to figure out where it is the first time. But we don't go up onto the dam proper, we need to go off first onto the dam's maintenance section. So to do this, we are going to go back into the tunnel, follow the main tunnel all the way to its exit, and then go up and into the side slip road. So that is what we're going to do right now. Now most of these trees should be drive-throughable, but the trees are sort of a 50-50 chance of being completely solid, so you want to be careful with those. Let's get back down into the tunnel, and once again with the extremely low ceiling, it makes it very painful to watch going through here. Now we need to turn left once we get to this T-junction. Ooh, whoopsies. That's alright. I know this is probably quite horrible to watch, and trust me, it's no better actually doing it. I mean, you can attempt to go in first person, but I'm supposedly in first person right now. I think the camera has just about as hard of a time down here as we are. So we don't turn off there, we ignore that turning. We're going to just keep going all the way until the tunnel ends itself. I don't know. Oh, and it's now decided to put us inside the truck. Again, it's all a bit strange, a bit random. But now we can come out, just come back outside. And we're going to head up this hill. And as I said before, we don't want to take that main road up to the top of the dam. We want to take this slip road into this sort of maintenance area of the dam. And the area we need to go to is right at the back of this bit. You'll see there's a lot of hazards here that make turning around a bit of a pain. We can pull up, and there we go. We're turning military goods into export goods. And this is the final processing step of the route. So we can now start doing the put and repeat take. And we should have our export goods in no time. Again, as you've probably been aware yourself, lag and things can affect this as well, how quickly this goes. Luckily, I seem to be having quite a good connection at the moment, so I'm not really struggling with lag. I mean, being anywhere in Liberty City means you're going to have these weird graphical glitches, like if you move the camera the wrong way, the whole world might despawn, things like that. But that's just something you'll have to get used to, along with the inability to use the minimap sat-nav. And there we are, we're done. Now we've got to find a way to turn around in here. As far as I can tell, none of these containers are actually able to be driven through. So you're just going to have to kind of jackknife the truck a little bit to turn around. If you try and reverse all the way out, back out from here, it's possible, but it's such a pain, it's not worth it. You might as well just try and turn around in there. Ooh, there we go. Right, so we're now done from that section. Next thing we're doing is we're heading all the way back to the port, where we very first started pretty much. We're going to go all the way back down there. So the easiest way to do that is to get back in the tunnel. Wow, brain fart. Get back in the tunnel and just follow it all the way back to the start. Once again, remembering to stay on this side of the tunnel, which is now the right, but it was the left originally. We want to stay on this side of the tunnel so that we don't hit that sign and blow up our trailer. You'll see there's another sign there. That one's completely pass-throughable, as is every other one you'll see, apart from that one specific sign. So, I think we're coming up to the end of this tunnel now. See this sign? Perfectly fine, go straight past it. But that one there, it will murder you. Oh, should probably look where I'm going. You can come out of that tunnel now, back into the daylight and the glitchy roads. And we're just going to head straight on from here. We could actually go left back towards where the auto parts are and then take one of those roads up. But this does the same thing pretty much, we just have to turn up here. Ooh, there we are. Turn left up here. We just want to keep heading for the docks. Obviously the map has despawned, the minimap doesn't exist at this point. So you do kind of have to go off memory, which as you can see, I do not have a good one. So it looks like I'm winging this. And going down here. I very much hope there is a way back up at some point, because... oh dear. Oh no, we're good. There we go, as usual. Succeeding by accident. Probably should be my catchphrase. Now we can head down here and to this trucking stop just ahead. These tanks are pass-throughable, don't know why, but they are. There we are. Exported goods times 3, and they turn into goods vouchers and Liberty City tokens. And we'll go over those in a minute. But first, let's get this done. Now we don't need to put anything in this time because we're just handing these in for weightless tokens. So we can just keep doing repeat take until our truck is empty. And this actually completes the trucking route sort of bit of this process. Now that we have these two types of tokens, we're going to use one of those types of tokens to go and buy the treated water from the fire department. There we are, we're done. So now that we've done this, we need to head over to the Liberty City Fire Department, which is there. So that is basically the same as going to the job centre, but we're going to come along this road and then throw ourselves off of that circular pathway up there. We're just going to throw ourselves off and onto the Liberty City Fire Centre, basically. It sounds terrible, and it kind of is, but it's the quickest way of doing it. If we head to the right, head to the left, and we can get out of here. There we go. Now, probably the best thing for me to have done would have been to turn around back there and just take that road up. But as I'm lazy, I'm just going to go this way and then turn left. You'll notice as well, this Kenworth doesn't even turn particularly well. It really just does not do anything that well. Come on. Probably comes from having such a long wheelbase. Doesn't really allow for great turning. Oh, I've turned a bit early there. We're inside the drive-thru. Ignore that marker that just came up. We don't want that. We just want to go along to the bridge and get over the other side. Oh, sorry sir. Now I've only done this route a couple of times, but I have already had a plane almost kamikaze me as I'm going across this bridge. So, as unlikely as it would be for it to happen to you, just keep an eye out. You never know what people are going to do on this game. And obviously he didn't do it on purpose. I know there's no vehicle death matching on here. He didn't do it on purpose. He forgot there was a bridge there when he was trying to fly to the airport. And I guess he didn't notice until it was too late. Oh, I don't know why that bike decided the best way to avoid me is to drive into me. But he did. And here's the off-ramp, and we are not taking the off-ramp. We're going off the ramp. Ooh, that has actually not gone terribly. It usually does not end that well. But there we go. And as you can see, we can trade our Liberty token, which we got from handing in those export goods, and we can turn it into treated water. And obviously people who do concrete will know what that is for. Now I know there has also been a nerf to concrete, so some people are probably going to be wondering what's the point of even doing this. And it's up to you whether you think concrete's still worth it or not. I'm not going to try and make the factual statement of yes, it is worth it, no, it's no longer worth it. But it's happened. It's probably not going to be undone unless it really breaks the economy, which I doubt it will. There's too many other types of income. But this is how we do this if we want to do it quickly. As you've seen, I mean, we're only... as of this moment, we're 27 minutes into my recording. For you, there's probably going to be 22 minutes as I take out the driving to the ferry. There we are, we've got a full truck's worth of treated water now. But yeah, so 22 minutes, and we've got an entire truck's worth of treated water without spending any money, which is another side of it. It costs nothing to do this. So, we don't want to go this way though. for once I'm not going to be lazy. I am going to turn around, because we don't want to go that way, because that is an extremely long way back. We want to just go right up here, and this should put us back on track to get back across the bridge. Oh, there's a bit of despawned world there, don't worry about that. So up here we should be able to, yep, we want to go right here, and then these roads should join us back up with the bridge across. Yep, there's the job centre, so we're on the right track. We just want to go right here. Left. Bloody hell, I'm really struggling with my brain today. Go left here. Back across, and now we are heading to the self-storage that I mentioned earlier. Oh, you can see I've crashed the Kenworth and now it's massively dragging to the right, which is another fantastic feature of this $200 million truck. No, I'm not salty, I paid that much for it. Ooh, get around these corners. And we're going to enter the docks in the same place that we left it, and probably should have entered it the first time. But instead of going straight on, we're going to take this left little pathway, and then left again. Round we go, and here we are. Now that we're here, you can see there is a fee for using this storage, even though it's ours. Again, I don't really agree with that, but that is what it is. But it's not too much money, and we can now dump everything from the truck. And there we go, 96 pieces of treated water in about 25 minutes. Ready for you to collect from the other shared storage by the quarry to take to Yellowjack. From Yellowjack you can make it into concrete. And that is all there is to it for this tutorial. A nice simple one, really. It's once you know how to do it, it's very simple, it's very cheap, and it seems to be the most efficient way to get treated water. But I want to thank you all for watching this tutorial. It's good to be back now. I can actually get into the server and do things, as if you've watched the previous update video, I have spoke about that in a bit more detail. But yeah, it's good to be back, and hopefully there will be more tutorials coming soon. See you later.